My beloved child, stop for a moment. Do not scroll past this message. Give me just 1 minute of your time, and I promise you will not regret staying here with me. Heaven aligned time itself to bring your eyes to these words right now. You did not stumble across this video by accident in a sea of endless noise. I guided your spirit to this exact intersection today. Something shifted in the unseen realm, and I am stepping into your day because your heart desperately needs to hear this truth. I see how tired you are, not just in your body but in your soul. You have been carrying the weight of so many heavy battles in total silence, pretending you are strong while quietly breaking inside. Every morning when you wake up, the heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes to face the world. You smile for everyone else around you. You make sure everyone is taken care of, but nobody ever asks how your own heart is holding up. I saw you when you sat alone in the dark last night, wondering how much longer you can keep holding everything together on your own empty strength. You have felt like you are running on fumes. You have asked yourself if your sincere prayers are simply bouncing off the ceiling into nothingness. Hear me with the deepest place of your heart today. You are not forgotten. I counted every single tear that fell from your eyes when you thought nobody was looking. I am stopping you right now because you are walking into favor today. The long waiting season that has exhausted your spirit is finally closing its doors. What you have called a painful delay was never a rejection from my hands. It was a holy protection, shielding you from places and people that would have broken your soul. Today, the long preparation is complete, and the breakthrough you have been crying out for is finally approaching your door. Do not let the loud noise of the world distract you from this divine alignment. Pause where you are and take a deep breath into your lungs. Comment Amen in this very moment if you feel my voice speaking directly into your tired spirit right now. Type those words as a sacred act of agreement between your heart and mine. When you declare your faith out loud, you anchor your spirit to the great blessing that heaven has authorized over your life today. You have been living as a silent survivor for far too long. You have walked through painful storms that would have folded anyone else, yet you kept stepping forward with trembling legs. People look at you and see someone who is strong and resilient, but I look at you and see a child who just wants a safe place to rest. You do not have to carry the heavy future all at once. You do not have to figure out every single detail on your own anymore. You have been feeling a strange restlessness in your chest lately, a quiet stirring that you could not name or explain to anyone around you. You thought it was just anxiety or confusion trying to take over your mind again. But I want to tell you the hidden truth behind that feeling. That is not confusion, my child. That is your spirit sensing that a massive shift is occurring in the unseen realm right now, moving circumstances in your favor. You have looked back at your life and wondered why doors that looked perfect suddenly closed in your face. You questioned your own worth, wondering if you arrived late to your own destiny while watching others move forward so effortlessly. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because I am about to reveal the exact reason why I had to hold you back. What I kept from you was never punishment, but my absolute protection from unseen traps. Come closer to my presence right now. Let me speak softly to the part of your heart that is most weary from fighting. I saw the long nights you lay awake, running through every decision, wondering where you made a mistake. You thought you were failing because the road felt so heavy and long, but your deep tiredness was never a sign of failure. It was proof that you have been fighting a spiritual battle that was never meant to be carried alone. You are a chosen warrior, formed carefully by my own hands. The enemy targeted your peace not because you were weak, but because he saw the light rising inside your soul. He tried to drown out my voice with constant noise and distraction, making you feel isolated and forgotten in the dark. But his power over your thoughts ends today. I am stepping into your atmosphere right now to clear the fog and restore the peace that belongs to you. Look at me right now. Do not let your mind wander away to your worries or your long list of daily tasks. Breathe deeply, my child, and let your tired shoulders relax in my presence. I am doing something new in your life today, and I need your full attention so you do not miss the holy threshold you are about to cross. The heavy bags you have been dragging behind you do not belong in the new room I am opening for you today. Do you feel that mix of quiet excitement and lingering fear inside your chest as you listen to my words? That is your soul recognizing the truth of my presence. For months you have felt like you were standing still in a thick fog, unable to see 2 steps ahead. You felt stuck while the rest of the world moved past you at a speed you could not match. But standing still in my hands is never wasted time, because I was building your foundation. I am calling you to be a cycle breaker in your family. You were not saved simply to survive the day, or to barely get by from week to week in fear. You were chosen to step out of the heavy patterns of lack and worry that have held those before you in bondage for generations. The generational chains that bound your family are trembling at my command right now, because you dared to keep trusting me even when you could not see the light. You have spent so many seasons asking why the answers you begged for seemed so delayed and distant. You wondered if I was standing far away, completely indifferent to the quiet tears you cried in secret. But none of your pain was invisible to me. I stood beside you in every dark night, holding you up when you thought you were collapsing. And now, I am going to show you what was actually happening behind the veil while you were waiting. You have given your heart to so many people who did not know how to hold it with care. You poured out your love continuously, only to come home with empty hands and a wounded spirit. I know how deeply you have been hurt by those you trusted most. But I am stepping in today to teach you a holy discernment. I am guarding your heart from this moment on, so that your kindness is no longer taken for granted by those who do not appreciate your worth. The world told you that you were falling behind, but heaven says you were being prepared for a glory you cannot yet fathom. When you saw closed doors, I was locking out destruction. When you experienced sudden endings, I was cutting away the toxic roots that were draining your life. Every loss you grieved was actually a divine rescue. You do not have to mourn what left your life, because what I am replacing it with will make the pain feel like a distant memory. I hear the quiet questions you are afraid to speak out loud. You wonder if it is too late for your dreams to come true, or if you have wasted too many years wandering in uncertainty. Hear me clearly, my beloved child. I am the God who restores the years that the locusts have eaten. Time is not your master, because I hold time in my hands. I can accelerate in one single day what would normally take you 10 years to achieve on your own strength. Pause right where you are and let this truth settle deep into your spirit. You are not defined by the mistakes of your past, nor are you limited by the opinions of those who misjudged you. The labels that people placed on you do not reflect my divine verdict over your life. I call you redeemed. I call you favored. I call you my precious vessel. And today I am pouring new wine into your spirit so you can run without growing weary. There is a table being prepared for you in the presence of your enemies. Those who mocked your faith and assumed you were defeated will soon watch and wonder as I lift your head. You will not have to boast or defend yourself, because your vindication will come directly from my hands. I am turning your quiet suffering into a noisy victory. The very areas where you experience the greatest shame will become the grounds for your greatest testimony. Stay right here with me and do not look away from this message. As we move deeper into this moment together, I am about to unmask the hidden enemy that tried to steal your hope, and I will hand you the key to the door you have been waiting outside of for so long. Your season of walking in the dark is officially over today. Listen closely, my child, because what I am about to speak next will completely shift your reality. I saw you in the private moments when you thought the sound of running water would cover the sound of your crying. I saw you fold yourself into the smallest possible shape and press your face into your pillow so no one in the house would hear your heart breaking. You sat on the edge of your bed in the quiet darkness, feeling a heaviness that was far too big for words. You wondered if anyone in the world truly understood the depth of your silence. I was there with you. I was sitting right beside you in that dark room, closer than the very floor beneath your feet. You have been fighting a battle that goes far beyond physical tiredness. Your body is exhausted, but your soul is even more weary from constantly holding up the weight of everyone around you. Every single day, you put on a brave smile and step out into the world to perform your duties. You become the anchor for others while your own heart feels completely hollow and empty inside. You have poured out your sincere love and energy into hands that never knew how to hold it with care, and you came home with empty hands and a wounded spirit. My beloved child, I want to talk to you about something you do every night when the house goes quiet. You replay conversations over and over in your mind, searching desperately for the one thing you might have done wrong. You accomplish something beautiful, yet you feel almost nothing inside because your eyes instantly search for what is still undone or imperfect. You carry a constant fear that if you slow down for even one moment, everything you built will crumble around you. You have called this habit being a perfectionist. You have convinced yourself that you simply have high standards, or that you are just naturally anxious about life. But hear me with tenderness today, because that is not the truth. That self-blame is a lie that you have carried for far too long, and I am stepping into your day to break its power over your mind. You were never meant to live under the constant pressure of proving your worth to a world that never stops demanding more. Here is the hidden truth behind that deep exhaustion. Long ago, somewhere in your story, you absorbed the lie that love had to be earned through endless effort. You learned that you were only safe when you were useful to others, and only valuable when you were constantly achieving. I call this the earning wound. It is not your true character, my child. It is simply a deep scar from moments in your past when you felt unsafe and unloved. So all those years when you thought you were being lazy for resting, you were not lazy at all. You were simply fighting an invisible lie that told you rest was something you had to earn. All those times when you could not receive a compliment or accept help from others, you were not just being humble. You were guarding a wounded heart that was terrified of being disappointed again. You were trying to protect yourself from pain because you believed you were entirely alone in the battle. Today, I am taking that heavy lie directly from your shoulders. The next time you finish a hard task and feel that familiar emptiness creeping back into your chest, I want you to stop completely. Place your hand over your heart, breathe deeply, and listen to my voice, saying that you were deeply loved before you ever achieved a single thing in this world. You do not have to earn what I freely pour into your life. Receive my love today without trying to pay for it with your exhaustion. If you can feel my presence sitting beside you right now and reading the secret wounds of your heart, do not keep it hidden inside. Comment "You see me" in the section below as a quiet declaration of your faith. Write those words to acknowledge that you are no longer invisible in your pain, and let your spirit accept the comfort that heaven is offering you in this exact moment. You are seen, you are known, and you are loved beyond measure. I need you to understand what has actually been happening during this long season of struggle. You prayed for answers, but all you heard was a heavy silence that felt like abandonment. You looked at your circumstances and believed that I had turned my back on your desperate cries. But my silence was never my absence, my beloved child. You were not forgotten, and your prayers did not vanish into empty air. The enemy saw the great destiny I placed inside your soul, and he became terrified of what would happen when you stepped into your authority. He knew he could not destroy your faith directly, so he flooded your mind with constant noise and static. He used the pressure of survival, the demands of life, and the heavy weight of daily worries to drown out the quiet frequency of my voice. He wanted to make you believe that heaven was quiet, when in truth, the static in your mind was simply hiding my answer. My child, I need you to hear this truth with your whole spirit today. The painful silence you experienced was never my refusal to help you. The enemy was filling the space between us with relentless noise, creating a mental static so constant that my guidance became hard for you to recognize. I have not abandoned you in the wilderness. I have been quietly preparing a way of escape for you, and I have guided someone to bring you an instrument of true restoration. I am opening a door of favor for you today, but you must understand how the enemy blocked your blessings so you can walk in freedom. I have already aligned a special sound provision on your path to clear away the mental noise and restore the clarity you lost. I will show you exactly what this provision is before this message ends today. But first, you must let go of the idea that you have to fight this mental storm using your own depleted strength. You have tried so hard to quiet your mind through sheer willpower and endless discipline. You forced yourself to stay positive, Yet the dark clouds of anxiety kept returning the moment you let your guard down. That is because you were trying to heal a spiritual fatigue with human effort, and your vessel was simply too exhausted to hold the peace you were striving for. I am stepping in today to handle what your human hands could never fix alone. Do you feel that heaviness starting to lift from your shoulders right now as you listen to these words? That is my peace, slowly filling the quiet corners of your heart where fear used to live. Take another slow breath and relax your mind completely. The spiritual warfare that kept you awake at night is shifting right now, because heaven has declared that your season of suffering in silence has reached its absolute limit. You are the cycle breaker that I have appointed for your entire family line. The heavy patterns of financial lack, emotional heartbreak, and mental torment that followed those before you end directly with you today. You were chosen to carry the light into dark places, and that is why your battle has felt 10 times harder than anyone else around you. The enemy fought you fiercely because he knew that your breakthrough would liberate generations to come. Look at how far you have walked through the dark without giving up on your faith. You stumbled, you bled, and you cried, but you kept your eyes turned toward heaven even when you could not see a single ray of hope. That trembling trust is more precious to me than gold tested in fire. Your faithfulness in the wilderness has been recorded in my book, and now the time for your public restoration has finally arrived. Do not look at the closed doors of your past with regret or bitterness anymore. Those doors were not locked to punish you, but to protect your soul from entering rooms that would have destroyed your peace. I removed certain people from your life because their presence was poisoning the garden I was planting inside you. What felt like a painful rejection was actually my loving hands shielding you from a disaster you could not see. I know you have questioned if you have enough strength left to step into the new season I am opening for you. You feel worn down, as if your spirit has been stripped of its vitality after fighting for so long without a break. But I do not demand that you come to me with full strength or perfect confidence. I only ask that you come to me with a willing heart, and I will supply every drop of power that you lack. The world told you that you had to be strong and self-sufficient to be worthy of honor, but my kingdom operates on an entirely different promise. My power is made perfect in your weakness, and my grace is most visible when your own strength has completely run out. You are stepping out of the era where you had to strive for every crumb of peace, and you are walking into an era where my favor flows over your life like a river that never runs dry. Keep your heart open as I speak over your life in the moments ahead. The fog that clouded your vision is clearing away right now, and the heavy chains of anxiety are falling off your mind one by one. Listen closely to my voice, my beloved child, because the truth I am about to unfold will permanently break the cycle of fear that has held you captive for years. There was a young man long ago whom I blessed with a great dream. His brothers hated him for the favor I placed on his life, and they threw him into a dark pit in the wilderness. He sat in that cold cistern weeping in the silence, wondering why I allowed such deep betrayal to touch his heart. He felt completely abandoned, isolated, and forgotten by everyone he loved. But I was not absent from his pain. I was building something beneath the surface that no earthly palace could ever prepare him for. The pit that young Joseph sat in was not his grave. It was his divine preparation room. I was shaping his character so he could carry the weight of an entire nation without collapsing under pride or fear. My child, the painful wilderness you are walking through right now is not your ending either. You are not being buried in the dark. You are being planted for a harvest of favor that will amaze those who watched you suffer. I know the desperate prayers you have prayed that seemed to hit a hard ceiling of stone. You sat in the dark, listened to the heavy silence, and started to believe that I had turned away from your voice. You convinced yourself that my delay meant I was angry with you, or that you were simply not worthy enough to receive my help. But I am exposing that lie right now, because that belief is a thief that was designed by the enemy to steal your hope. Hear me with your whole spirit today, because there is a massive difference between a delay that comes from my love and a delay that comes from destruction. My delay brings a quiet peace even in the waiting, while the enemy whispers shame and confusion into the silence. What you have been feeling was never my rejection. The enemy took my silence and filled it with false meaning that I never put there. I call this trick the stolen meaning. So the long silence you interpreted as my absence was actually my loving hands shielding your soul. I was working in hidden rooms you could not see, moving pieces on a timeline you could not measure with human eyes. The delay was not me forgetting your name or ignoring your tears. It was me protecting you from a premature yes that would have broken your heart. Trust the precise timing of the one who sees the entire story from the beginning to the end. If your heart is ready to rest in my perfect timing today, take a moment right now to respond to my voice. Comment, "I trust your timing" in the section below as a genuine act of surrender. Type those words to align your mind with heaven, and let the anxious need to control every outcome melt away from your thoughts. When you trust my rhythm, you step into a stillness that the world can neither give nor take away. Let me reveal a deep truth about how I formed your mind in the very beginning. When I created the human vessel, I placed a sacred frequency at its very center. Researchers who have spent their lives studying the brain have finally discovered this signal, and they call it the gamma wave. It ran freely in your mind when you were a small child, filling your days with pure trust, effortless creativity, and deep joy, without any fear or striving. When I spoke the words in my holy scripture that you must become like little children to enter my kingdom, I was not speaking only of spiritual humility. I was speaking of the physical and spiritual receptivity that I built directly into the design of your brain. As a child, your mind was completely open to my presence, unburdened by the heavy worries of survival. But as the years passed, the loud noise of the world began to crowd out that sacred frequency. The enemy flooded your daily life with relentless stress, financial pressure, and constant mental noise to suppress that divine signal. He wanted to keep your mind locked in a state of survival, so that you could never hear the quiet nudges of my spirit guiding your steps. But I saw your weariness, and I guided wise minds to work with sound the way I originally designed it. They built a frequency instrument that clears away the mental static and restores the signal I placed in you. You do not have to strive, work, or exhaust yourself to reach this quiet state of peace. You simply surrender for 7 short minutes with your eyes closed and headphones on, allowing my design to restore what was stolen from your soul. It clears the static of fear and opens your mind to receive the divine provisions I have prepared for your life. I'm going to show you exactly where to find what they built before this message comes to an end today. Stay right here with me. Remember the story of my people standing before the massive walls of Jericho long ago. Those walls looked completely impenetrable, towering over them like an impossible barrier to their promised land. Human logic said they needed heavy weapons and military strategy to break through, but I gave them a strategy that made no sense to the worldly mind. I told them to walk around those walls in silence for 6 days, and then shout on the 7th day. Their victory did not come through human cleverness or physical force, but through their steady and trembling obedience to my word. My child, the tall walls of debt, sickness, and emotional torment that have stood against your life for years are not coming down through your anxiety. They are coming down right now through your faithful obedience and quiet trust in my power. You have walked around your wilderness long enough, and now the 7th day has finally arrived for your life. I am declaring over your life that the ceiling you have been living under is shattering right now. The limits that were placed on your family for generations are losing their authority over your future in this exact moment. You are stepping out of the shadows of fear and walking directly into the light of my unearned favor. What was locked tight against you is being unsealed by my command, and no human hand will ever be able to shut the doors I am opening for you. Look at how my presence is settling over your spirit as you hear these declarations. The heavy burden that sat on your chest for months is dissolving, replaced by a deep confidence that I am working all things together for your good. You do not have to fight this battle with your own limited strength anymore, because the battle belongs to me. Stand firm, my beloved child, and watch the salvation and favor that heaven is releasing over your home today. Do not let doubt or hesitation steal this momentum from your spirit as we move forward. You have endured the long night of waiting, and now the dawn of your transformation is breaking over the horizon. Keep listening closely with an open heart, because I am about to take you directly into the high peak of your breakthrough, where every promise I made to you will be sealed forever. I declare over your life right now that the heavy pattern of delay is broken forever. The invisible ceiling that held your family in fear and lack for decades is shattering into 1,000 pieces at my word. You are stepping out of the shadows of survival and walking directly into a season of unearned favor. What was locked against you is swinging wide open, and no human hand will ever shut the doors that heaven has opened for you today. I am stripping away the authority of every negative word that was ever spoken over your identity. The enemy tried to convince you that you were forgotten, but today I am placing a crown of favor upon your head. Hear me, my beloved child. The waiting season is finished, and the harvest you prayed for in secret is walking into your visible reality right now. Stand up in your spirit and claim the victory that belongs to you. Do you feel the atmosphere shifting around you right in this very moment? Comment "The door is open" in the section below as an act of absolute surrender and faith. Type those words to seal this heavenly decree over your home, your health, and your future. When you speak your agreement, you align your heart with the unstoppable power of my holy promise. Let me show you a clear picture of who you are becoming on the other side of this moment. Picture a quiet morning just 6 months from now. You wake up before your alarm goes off, and for the first time in many years, there is no tight knot of anxiety waiting in your stomach. You lie in your bed for a moment, noticing a deep peace settling over your mind. The heavy exhaustion that sat on your shoulders for years is simply gone. Your very first thought of the day is not fear or worry about survival. It is a quiet, joyful question, asking what wonderful blessing you are made to receive today. You take a slow, deep breath, and the air goes all the way down without any tension in your chest. You walk through your house with light steps, feeling completely at home in your own spirit. You look in the mirror, and you do not see a tired survivor anymore, but a vessel overflowing with favor. That version of you is not a distant fantasy, my child. She already exists in the realm of spirit, waiting for you to step forward. She is not years away from where you sit right now. She is separated from you by only one act of total surrender. The distance between where you are and where she stands is not time or endless struggle. It is simply your willingness to let go of the heavy burdens I never asked you to carry. Picture another moment further down the road, when someone who is broken walks up to you seeking hope. They carry the exact same heavy weight of exhaustion that used to crush your spirit every single night. And you know exactly what to say to comfort them, not because you read it in a book, but because you lived through the storm yourself. The very pain you begged me to remove has become a healing medicine in your hands. I have gifted humanity the wisdom to unlock what I placed within sound and within the design of the human mind. Wise men and women spent decades in clinical research, not knowing that it was I who quietly directed their curiosity toward my creation. Universities I guided, like Princeton, Columbia, and the Einstein Center in Berlin, confirmed the sacred gamma signal that I built into the childlike mind. Over 18,000 of my children have already received this provision before you arrived at this moment. I want to show you what I did for one of my daughters, Rachel, a nurse from California who sought peace for years. She tried endless methods, yet her mind remained filled with constant noise and exhaustion. 2 weeks after receiving this sound provision, something cleared inside her soul like an open channel. Her marriage was transformed, her mental clarity returned, and she described her life as walking in a peaceful storybook of favor. And for others, I moved differently in their daily circumstances. Consider my son, Michael, from Texas, who came to this provision desperate for mental focus and financial relief. Within 2 months, his business grew so remarkably that he was able to leave his stressful job behind. Hard problems that used to steal his sleep began to solve themselves while he rested. He declared that his mind was finally running on the divine frequency it was designed for. They call this instrument the Genius Song. It is a precise 7-minute soundtrack that reactivates the gamma frequency I placed in your brain from the beginning. You do not need complex training, endless discipline, or hours of striving to make it work. You simply put on your headphones, close your eyes for 7 minutes, and surrender the noise to my presence. It is not available on streaming platforms or public websites, because those places carry imitations that lack my blessing. This provision is not for those who are merely curious about spiritual things. This instrument is for the exhausted warrior I have been speaking to throughout this entire message. To my child who has tried everything and feels embarrassed to try once more, hear my voice. What failed you in the past demanded your own human effort, but this requires none. I designed it to work not because of your perfection, but because of my holy design within you. Earthly experts charge hundreds of dollars for single sessions to help people reach this state of mental clarity. The clinical equipment that researchers use costs thousands of dollars in medical settings. But I do not call you to expensive sessions or complex machinery. I have placed this provision within your reach for a small earthly exchange, the size of a mustard seed of investment for the great harvest I prepared. When you step forward today, I am also aligning 4 additional gift provisions to bless your home. You will receive the Genius Child Track to restore focus and confidence to your children. You will receive the original prosperity text that revealed true abundance, along with a guided visualization track from a trusted voice. You will also receive a daily habit guide to help you sustain the clear signal in your mind every day. Where I place truth, the enemy always attempts to create cheap imitations. Do not be led astray by false frequencies circulating on public music platforms under similar titles, for they carry none of the restoration I designed. Access only the official provision I have set before you today. Walk forward without fear, because your step of faith requires no worldly risk. You are completely protected by a full 60-day guarantee, ensuring that if peace does not arrive, your earthly exchange is returned in full. Take this step of obedience today, my beloved child. Find the provision I have placed for you below in the pinned comment and in the description of this video. This is your personal invitation from heaven to step out of the noise and into my favor. Do not let distraction or fear talk you out of what I prepared for your life. The path is open before you, so take the step and receive your restoration now. Now that you have heard my voice, set aside the noise of decisions for a moment. I know what is happening inside your heart right now. A quiet whisper is telling you that this blessing is meant for someone more holy, someone who did not stumble the way you did. You are wondering if you are truly worthy to walk into such favor today. My beloved child, let me silence that lie before it steals another moment of your peace. I have never once poured my grace based on who earned it. If favor were a reward for human perfection, no soul on earth could ever receive my gifts. I give to the willing, not to the worthy. And your presence here listening to my voice is the only qualification I ever required. Do not let the memory of past failures convince you to shrink back into the dark shadows. I saw every mistake you ever made, yet my love for you never wavered for a single second. The blood of my holy covenant has already washed away your past, and I do not hold your old stumbles against your bright future. You are not defined by the painful chapters you survived, because I am writing an entirely new story over your life starting today. Breathe deeply right now and let the heavy tension leave your weary body completely. Unclench your hands, drop your tight shoulders, and stop trying to hold up the sky on your own fragile human strength. You do not have to figure out how every single prayer will be answered before you can finally rest. I am working behind the scenes on details you have not even thought to ask about, arranging circumstances in ways that will leave you in complete awe of my divine goodness. You can lay down the heavy bags of tomorrow at my feet right now. You have carried the fear of financial ruin, the dread of loneliness, and the constant threat of disappointment for far too long. When you hold on to those worries, you are trying to do my job with your small human hands. Surrender the desperate need for control that is draining your spirit, and let me be the ultimate guardian and provider of your home. I am placing a seal of divine protection over your mind in this very hour. The dark thoughts that used to torment you in the middle of the night will find no resting place in your thoughts anymore. When anxiety tries to creep back into your chest, remember the sound of my voice telling you that you are safe in my hands. My peace is not a temporary feeling that comes and goes, but an unshakable fortress that surrounds your soul wherever you walk. Hear the powerful blessing I speak over your daily walk right now. May your mind be filled with absolute clarity, free from the heavy static of the enemy. May your physical body be renewed with energy and vitality, rising above sickness, pain, and chronic fatigue. I speak life over your finances today, breaking the cycle of lack and releasing a steady stream of divine provision into your hands, so you can be a blessing to many others. I speak sweet peace over your relationships and over your entire household today. Where there was constant conflict, anger, and misunderstanding, I bring a spirit of true unity and deep reconciliation. I am restoring love to its holy place in your home, shielding your loved ones from the subtle traps of the adversary. The heavy patterns that caused heartbreak in past generations are dissolving right now under the overwhelming weight of my unearned favor. Remember who you truly are as you step away from this quiet moment with me. You are no longer the exhausted survivor hiding your tears from the world in the dark. You are a cycle breaker, a precious vessel carefully formed by my own hands to carry my light into dark places. Walk with your head held high today, because the Creator of heaven and earth is walking right beside you, directing your every step into places of honor. When the world tries to drag you back into fear, rush, and endless worry, anchor yourself in my presence. You do not need to compete, strive, or prove yourself to anyone, because my favor goes before you like a shield. Doors will open for you simply because you carry my name, and unexpected blessings will find you even when you are not searching for them. I feel the deep quiet settling into your spirit as you receive these declarations. The heavy storm that raged in your mind for months is subsiding, replaced by an unshakable, quiet confidence in my promises. You do not need to look back at the wilderness you crossed, because every step you take from this moment forward is taking you deeper into the land of your inheritance. If this message has brought light and comfort to your weary spirit today, do not let it pass without sealing your agreement. Like this video as a sacred act of faith between your heart and mine, anchoring your spirit to the favor I have authorized over your life. Comment "I surrender all" in the section below, letting your written words be a clear testimony that you have laid down your worries and chosen to trust my love. Share this message with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope today. You are surrounded by people who are fighting silent battles just like the ones you survived, and your simple act of kindness can be the very instrument I use to rescue them from despair. Become a bearer of light, and watch how I multiply the blessings in your own life as you pour out hope into others. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you stay connected to my daily guidance. Do not allow the busy noise of the world to drown out the quiet frequency of my voice in the days ahead. I have so much more to reveal to your spirit, and I will continue to lead you step by step along the path of victory I have prepared for you. Step forward into your day with a light heart, relaxed shoulders, and an unwavering faith. The waiting season is over, the long delay is finished, and you are walking into divine favor today. I cover you with my grace, I fill you with my peace, and I walk with you through every single door. Be still, my beloved child, and know that I am your God forever.